Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to share with you the tips and sources we found helpful to crack IELTS in our first attempt. So my name is Tanu.
And I'm Nishant, and let's get started.
So if you're somebody who's planning to move to Canada, then you certainly understand the importance of IELTS. It can basically make or break your chances of moving to Canada, no matter if you're applying through PR or you're applying on a student visa. We will make a separate video about the calculations and the ganit of how the IELTS score can impact your CRS score.
अब बात करते हैं कि IELTS है क्या. सो IELTS इज बेसिकली एन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट जो कि आपकी इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज स्किल्स को टेस्ट करता है. सो ये बेसिकली दो तरीके के होते हैं. IELTS जनरल फॉर द पीपल हु आर अप्लाइंग फॉर PR एंड IELTS अकेडमिक फॉर द पीपल हु आर अप्लाइंग फॉर स्टडी वीजा. एंड IELTS इज जॉइंटली ओन्ड बाय IDP, ब्रिटिश काउंसिल एंड कैम्ब्रिज इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज असेसमेंट. सो कई बार लोग ये पूछते हैं कि यार IDP चूज करें या ब्रिटिश काउंसिल चूज करें. सो देयर इज एक्चुअली नो डिफरेंस. जहाँ आपको अपनी कन्वीनियंस के हिसाब से टेस्ट डेट और टेस्ट सेंटर मिल जाए वहाँ पे आप बुक करा दो.
So the first and foremost thing is to understand the pattern of the exam. This is very important. English तो हम में से ज़्यादातर को आती ही है. Especially in India, most of the education is in English medium. So the thing that makes the difference is being able to showcase your English language skills in the pattern of the exam. And the most reliable source to get that information is the IELTS website itself, and now they also have a mobile app. To give you a gist, there are 4 sections in this exam. The first one is your listening, and then you have reading, writing and speaking. So the listening and speaking are the same for IELTS exam and the IELTS general exam and the IELTS academic exam, but the reading and writing is a tad more difficult for your academic exam. So make sure that you understand the pattern of the exam and go through the website and their mobile app thoroughly.
So now that you have understood the pattern, अब बारी आती है कि प्रिपरेशन करनी कहाँ से है. But even before you start preparing for the IELTS, we would recommend give at least 3 complete practice papers to understand which are your weaker and stronger areas among the 4 sections. This would help you to understand that where exactly you need to focus your time and energy. और ये practice test आप IELTS की ऐप से कर सकते हो या फिर the books that you will receive from IDP and British Council जहाँ से भी आपने IELTS का एग्ज़ाम बुक कराया हो. अब आते हैं प्रिपरेशन पे. सो आई वुड से दैट IELTS के एग्जाम में प्रिपेयर करने के लिए ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. इट्स मोर अबाउट प्रैक्टिस एंड मोर प्रैक्टिस. सो प्रैक्टिस एज मच एज यू कैन. वी वुड रिकमेंड एटलीस्ट 15 प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट for your stronger sections and 30 practice tests for your weaker areas. और ये प्रैक्टिस आप कर सकते हो IELTS की ऐप से या फिर IDP या ब्रिटिश काउंसिल की बुक से. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट सम अदर ग्रेट रिसोर्सेज आर IELTS website. It has some good and tough practice papers, so do all of them. The second is IELTS Liz website, that is IELTSLiz.com. So actually Liz is a lady जो IELTS की प्रिपरेशन कराती है and she has her own website and YouTube channel as well. So do check that out. It's a great resource and we have provided the link below. The third is Cambridge IELTS training book. So practice करने के लिए ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा अच्छी book है and you can get that from Amazon. Again we have provided the link below. And the last but I would say one of the most surprising resource was IELTSmaterial.com. इस website में काफ़ी सारे writing और speaking के sample test हैं. So आगे जाके मैं इस वीडियो में I will explain you that how this website actually helped me in my speaking exam.
Now let's discuss all the 4 sections in detail, and we will discuss how we approach each of the sections, what mistakes people make, and some tips and tricks that helped us a lot. So let's start with the listening section. This section is 30 minutes long, but you do get additional 10 minutes to transfer your answers into the answer sheet. And this section contains conversations which you need to listen and then answer the questions. Now these conversations could be a monologue or a conversation between 2 people. And यहाँ तक तो सब सही है. The problem starts when in the later questions, the conversation could be between like 4 people as well. So you need to be very, very attentive. And we found that besides testing your listening skills, they are also testing your attention to detail.
And the most common mistake that can happen in the listening section is कि अगर आपका कोई एक आध पॉइंट मिस हो गया और आगे की कॉन्वर्सेशन ध्यान से सुनने की बजाय आप उस छूटे हुए पॉइंट को रिकॉल करने में लग गए, देन यू विल लूज द ट्रैक एंड आप आगे का भी आपका सारा मिस होता ही चला जाएगा. सो वी वुड रिकमेंड कि अगर कोई एक आध चीज़ मिस हो भी गई है तो कोई बात नहीं, जस्ट कीप योर फोकस ऑन द कॉन्वर्सेशन दैट्स हैपनिंग राइट नाउ. सो आगे बढ़ते चलो, पीछे मुड़ के नहीं देखना है.
Now these people are really smart. They will intentionally change the answers during the conversation. For example, suppose the question is, what time is John's presentation? Now during the conversation, John might say, my presentation is at 9 AM. But a little later in the conversation, he might change his answer and he would say, you know what, my presentation got postponed and actually it's at 11 AM now. So now the answer changes from 9 AM to 11 AM. So you have to be really attentive while listening to the conversations. And we would suggest write down all the possible answers and then strike off the one that the speaker later changes.
अब बात करते हैं कि आपने सारी कॉन्वर्सेशन तो बहुत ध्यान से और बहुत अटेंटिवली सुन ली, बट वाइल ट्रांसफरिंग योर आंसर टू द आंसर शीट यू मेड अ ग्रामेटिकल और अ स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक, तब भी आपके सारे नंबर कट जाएंगे। इसलिए लिसनिंग सेक्शन में सिर्फ आपकी लिसनिंग स्किल्स ही इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, आपकी ग्रामर एंड आपकी स्पेलिंग भी इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट है।
Now let's talk about the reading section. The first thing is to skim over the passage before you start tackling the questions. Skimming basically means speed reading the passage in order to get a general idea of the content. You do not need to understand the entire passage. You should be just able to skim over the passage and just mark anything that you feel could be important. So from this comes the first step, that practice speed reading. Take a large passage and try to skim read in it less than 2 to 3 minutes. And you do not need to understand the passage properly. So the reading section is all about you being able to locate the answers. So if you're able to skim over a section really quickly and identify key information, then you can locate the answers quickly.
बट मैनी अ टाइम्स द कीवर्ड दैट यू आर लुकिंग फॉर वो पैसेज में उसी फॉर्म में एग्जैक्टली मेंशन ना हो, इट मे हैव बीन पैराफ्रेज्ड इन द पैसेज। सो हियर कम्स द अनदर टिप विच इज़ दैट यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन योर वोकैबुलरी फॉर द रीडिंग सेक्शन एज वेल, ताकि आपको पता हो कि किसी पर्टिकुलर वर्ड या किसी पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट को पैराफ्रेज करके किस किस तरीके से लिखा जा सकता है, एंड दैट वुड हेल्प यू टू लोकेट योर आंसर्स इन द पैसेज क्विकली।
Now let's talk about some common mistakes that could happen during the exam. So as we mentioned earlier, during the listening section, you get 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers into your answer sheet. But reading section में ऐसा नहीं होता है. You get only 60 minutes to find the answers and also to put them on the answer sheets. We are sharing this because मेरे रूम में ऐसा ही कुछ unfortunate event हुआ था. There was a person who thought कि reading section में भी extra time मिलेगा and he left all his answers on the question paper. So he probably lost his money on the IELTS exam and also his attempt was wasted. So make sure कि आपके साथ ऐसा ना हो.
और रीडिंग सेक्शन में बहुत अलग अलग टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, एंड वन ऑफ देम इज वे यू नीड टू फाइंड इफ अ पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट अग्रीज विद द व्यूज एंड क्लेम्स ऑफ द राइटर इन द पैसेज। और इस क्वेश्चन में ऑप्शंस होते हैं जनरली येस, नो एंड नॉट गिवन, और ज़्यादातर लोग नो और नॉट गिवन में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं। सो इट्स रियली इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन नो एंड नॉट गिवन। सो नो का मतलब ये है दैट अ पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट explicitly disagrees with the view or the claims of the writer, या आप इसको इस तरीके से कह सकते हैं that in the passage somewhere the writer has expressed his views or has made some claim which is exactly opposite to what it has been mentioned in the question statement. और not given का मतलब ये है that a particular view or the claim has not been contradicted or confirmed in the passage, या आप ये कहिए कि एक particular view और जो claim है वो passage में कहीं पर भी discuss हुआ ही नहीं है. So for example, suppose in the passage it is written that Nishant is driving a car for the first time in Canada. He feels that road discipline in Canada is really amazing. People follow the traffic lights and do not overtake each other unnecessarily. And the question statement is, Nishant feels driving in Canada is safer as compared to that in India. And the options are yes, no and not given. अब अगर logically देखा जाए तो you would feel that answer should be yes because yeah, I mean Canada में driving is safer as compared to India. But make a note that we do not have to answer a question based on the facts or our beliefs. So the answer cannot be yes because इस passage में कहीं पर भी इंडिया की तो बात हुई ही नहीं है, तो इसका मतलब आंसर नो है ना? नहीं, आंसर नो भी नहीं है बिकॉज अगेन इस पैसेज में कहीं पर भी इंडिया से कंपैरिजन नहीं हुआ है. सो हेंस द एक्चुअल आंसर इज नॉट गिवन.
Now coming to the writing section. In this sections, you are supposed to write on 2 tasks. The task 1 would require you to write a letter in response to a given situation. Now this could be like a personal letter or even a formal letter. And the task 2 requires you to write an essay in response to a point of view or an argument. Now the weightage of task 2 is double the weightage of task 1. So make sure that you practice task 2 even more. And a good source that we also mentioned earlier is IELTSmaterial.com. It's a great website and you can find so many writing samples on this website. And another thing they do is that they update the questions that appeared in the previous IELTS exam. So it's highly possible that if you practice from this website, you'll find one of the questions, like a similar questions on your IELTS exam as well.
Yes, it's highly possible. So do practice topics from this website. अब ऑब्वियसली आप सारे टॉपिक्स तो प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर पाओगे, बट एटलीस्ट गिव अ रीड टू ऑलमोस्ट एवरी टॉपिक, ताकि अगर एग्जाम में आपके इनमें से ही कोई टॉपिक आ जाए तो एटलीस्ट यू वुड बी एबल टू रिकलेक्ट अ फ्यू गुड पॉइंट्स. एंड इनफैक्ट ये राइटिंग सेक्शन ही एक सेक्शन है जिसकी वजह से मेरा बैंड 9 आते आते रह गया. सो आई स्कोर्ड 6.5 in writing instead of 7 which was required to get the overall CLB 9. So अब ऐसा हुआ क्यों कि मेरे 6.5 आया and तनु के 7. So the reason is that I did not use complex statements. So my style of writing or explaining things are कि मैं चीज़ों को थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करने की कोशिश करता हूँ, जो कि रियल लाइफ में इट इज़ गुड, बट IELTS वालों को ये नहीं चाहिए. दे वॉन्ट टू सी द रेंज ऑफ योर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज यूजेज एंड योर वोकेबलरी. सो दिस इज़ द प्लेस वेयर तनु शाइंड, बिकॉज ये बातें उलझाने में माहिर है. So she is great at using complex statements. So let us give you an example. So a simple statement would be, one should give equal importance to both education and health.
But in IELTS exam, you would want to write the same thing like this. Even though the importance of education cannot be denied, however, focusing on health is equally significant. Another important thing to keep in mind when you're giving the writing section is to respect the word limit. For example, for task 2, which is the essay writing section, the word limit is 250 words. Do not go over 300 words at max.
Now let's talk about the speaking section. So ये section 3 parts में होता है. The part 1 is where the examiner will ask you some general questions about yourself and some familiar topics like your home, office, studies, work and your hobbies. And it generally takes around 4 to 5 minutes. In the part 2, you will be given a card which will ask you to speak about a particular topic for up to 2 minutes. You will be given 1 minute to prepare for that. And after that, the examiner will ask you 1 to 2 follow-up questions on the same topic. Part 2 difficult hai. You may feel that 1 minute of time is too less to think about a topic, but trust me, I felt that part 3 was even more difficult. Kyunki in the part 3, the examiner will ask you cross questions about the same topic that was given in the part 2. And these questions are generally vague and very abstract. So you would need to think out of the box while you are answering these questions. But at the same time, because the questions are abstract, so it will give you an opportunity to discuss more abstract ideas that you have in your mind. And in total, I mean, this part will take you around 4 to 5 minutes. So in total, the entire speaking test generally takes 11 to 15 minutes. The speaking section is the one for which I was afraid the most. बिकॉज अगर आप इंडिया से हैं देन यू वुड अग्री दैट हमें इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग की इतनी हैबिट नहीं होती है इन आर डेली लाइफ, सो इसलिए वो फ्लुएंसी आने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है. बट फॉर्चुनेटली आई वॉज एबल टू स्कोर द रिक्वायर्ड बैंड दैट इज 7. एंड तनु जो इतनी देर से खामोश बैठी है इसके 8.5 आए थे स्पीकिंग में. सो आई वुड लेट हर टेक ओवर टू गिव अस सम टिप्स.
So I have 4 tips for you guys. I got an 8.5 because I practiced a lot with Nishan. So you can practice in front of a mirror, or if you do have someone to practice with, then do that. But make sure that you're following the structure of the exam when you're practicing. Now, secondly, enjoy your conversation with the examiner. Do not be shy. Now, my third tip would be that ideas are important in this exam, but they're not the most important thing. Say your idea with confidence and showcasing your language skills. So चाहे आपका idea simple ही क्यों ना हो, लेकिन अगर आप उसको excellent English में बोलोगे, then you'll definitely get extra marks for that. Now, my fourth tip would be that try to find examples from your personal life when you're trying to address the topic that's given to you. Try to relate the two. That way, you'll be speaking from heart and you will get a better fluency.
And even for speaking, I would say कि do refer to that website which we said earlier, that is IELTSmaterial.com, क्योंकि जो topic मुझे exam में आया था that was exactly mentioned in that website also. अब क्योंकि मैं almost काफ़ी सारे topics उस website में से read करके गया था, so it helped me a lot to prepare and structure my speech for that particular topic in the exam.
And I hope that you have been following our scores on the screen throughout the video. So this is how I scored band 9 and Nishan scored band 8 in our first attempt. And we also cleared the CRS cutoff. Now do leave us a comment in the comment box if you have any more suggestions that could help the other viewers.
So अब बात करते हैं how was our experience giving the IELTS test. So speaking test की बात करें तो वो सेम डे पे नहीं होता है, उसके लिए जनरली आपको एक सेपरेट डेट मिलती है जो कि आपके लिसनिंग, रीडिंग और राइटिंग एग्जाम के 1-2 दिन बाद की होती है. कभी कभी पहले भी हो सकता है लेकिन जनरली बाद में ही होता है. सो आई वुड से इट्स अ गुड थिंग बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू एन एक्स्ट्रा टाइम टू प्रिपेयर फॉर योर स्पीकिंग सेक्शन. एंड ऑल्सो इन तीनों सेक्शंस का एग्जाम देने के बाद इतनी एनर्जी बचती भी नहीं है दैट यू कैन गिव द स्पीकिंग टेस्ट ऑल्सो इन द सेम डे.
Yeah, and as far as I remember, इन 3 sections के बीच कोई break भी नहीं मिलता. All in all, these 3 sections take you about 3 hours in terms of time. But अगर आप एग्जाम से पहले का verification time और एग्जाम से बाद का आंसर शीट्स कलेक्शन वगैरह का टाइम मिला लें, so it comes out to be about 5 hours, जो कि काफ़ी exhausting हो जाता है. So I would suggest कि एग्जाम के लिए उस दिन आप अच्छे से खा पी कर जाओ so that you can survive these 5 hours.
Honestly, I got a severe headache just after finishing the exam, so please be mentally and physically prepared for the exam day. So guys, that's all about the IELTS tips and our experience. So if you have any questions, then please comment down below and also suggest what else would you like to know about moving to Canada, and we will definitely try to create a content on that. तब तक के लिए take care, stay safe
And bye!